Daredevil, Netflix style, born again type sticks, but with practicalities. So they come apart like that, but then if you lock that in and then twist down here, you've got the retractable wire mechanism for them. And that is all thanks to this part here, kind of being like that. So it's taken a lot of trial and error to get them to be able to do all of that sort of stuff. And originally I did want to use an actual wire mechanism for them, as I did this a couple of years ago on an older video on YouTube. But sadly, the smallest wire mechanism that I could find was this thick, which meant that the sticks would have to be this thick, which is just too thick for them really. And I'm not usually a big fan of 3D printed stuff, mainly because of the durability and strength to them. So for these, I've made sure that they are a 95% infill, whereas as standard, most people go for like 15%. So they're effectively pretty much, other than 5%, solid plastic, solid pieces. I've also made sure, because I've done some tests with super glue and trying to test to break them apart and how strong they are, it will always break where the super glue was because the bond is just not strong enough. However, I've got this plastic weld stuff, which effectively, where you apply it with a brush and then push the pieces together, it effectively chemically welds those pieces together by melting them, and they are really, really strong. To show you a test of how strong the plastic weld is as well, here is the larger piece that I printed, which is now plastic welded together in two parts, as you see the line across here. And if I put these pliers into the hole and then try to break this apart, really strong. I've done some other tests as well where I have broken them apart, but if you consider part A and part B, once it's broken apart, there's still parts of part A left on part B where the weld glue effectively is, and it's actually the PLA print itself that's broken, not the joints, so that is really strong stuff. As you may also notice, the chrome kind of colour here is a little bit darker. That's because the really nice chrome paint that I like that is used on this, I don't have any currently, and it's quite expensive to get, so until I can afford to get more of that paint, which will cover tons and tons of these as well as other things, I've used the graphite powder technique, which is effectively you kind of paint a blank gloss on graphite powder and then a clear coat of lacquer over the top, and maybe do another coat of the graphite powder after that to kind of get that shine. So it's not quite as bright and vibrant as I would like the chrome silver to be generally, so in future I would like to do the chrome from that when I can afford to get that paint again. But I'm really happy with how these have turned out to be two separate sticks like this. I 3D modelled everything for them to be able to go like this, and went through a lot of tests, and then that just kind of slots in there once it lines up, and then you twist there, and then you've got the sticks there, but then they can just twist them together and they're one solid piece, as you see here, but then come apart to be your double kind of escrima stick style, or twist apart there to be more like nunchucks kind of thing. So, and the weight holds quite well, but then they can kind of, you can leave it up there, or go down a little bit, or go down further, and then you can kind of just twist it back in there. I've also been working on the Daredevil 2003 sticks. Here's some of the cowls that I've been testing to effectively do a mixture of a urethane thing, but that's the cowls anyway. These are the 2003 sticks, and the main issue with these is the connection point to have it accurate on here is just this little bit here, and no matter what orientation I print it at, or even 100% infill, that's just not very strong in PLA, unlike the actual ones for film being like a metal connection. So it would in theory connect there, but then it's really wobbly and stuff, so I need to reassess that. But practicality of the wire and things here I'm quite happy with, and the thing I'm mainly happy with is these. So I 3D printed, 3D modelled these as well to have the little gears and things in. So yeah, it's still in the prototype stage, but the Daredevil Born Again sticks are now available to purchase if you're interested in them. In future, probably after the first couple, then I can fund and afford the new paint that I need. I will have the more updated chrome effect on them kind of thing, so it's a bit shinier. It also varies in picture to picture whether this bit and this bit are silver, or that's completely red and just these bits are silver. So that's kind of down to customer preference really. But I'm really happy with how these have turned out. And so check them out on my Etsy or direct on Instagram, because that's always cheaper than Etsy, because Etsy takes 25% fee, so everything has to be 25% higher on there sadly. So check them out if you want to purchase a pair. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how these have turned out with the kind of practicalities, connecting and everything.